The Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion is an independent research institute devoted to the scientific study of religion, but from a particular point of view.
So we draw on evolutionary theory and also on anthropological and sociological social science data, even the humanities study of religion.
The Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion is a group of people who are trying to study exactly what that name says. What is biocultural about religion? What is biological about religion? And what is cultural about religion?
The Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion is designed to fill a large gap in the study of religion. It takes its inspiration from evolutionary biology and cognitive science. In a negative way, it fills in where the social science approaches to religion have not moved, and it's pretty self-conscious about the need to be aware of reductionisms in science.
It's quite a complicated landscape we're trying to describe, and it's much more complex than anything that's been in the literature at this point. So we feel as though we're liberating the literature from a kind of bondage to oversimple thinking.
You cannot get at religion unless you take into account culture and brain and how the two interact to shape one another. And that's what biocultural approach is. Take into account of both those things.
The Institute works to support graduate students and postdoctoral students in the study of religion, and also works to do outreach to the public by maintaining websites that present data and that do pop science writing on the scientific study of religion. Religion is something that really informs everything in our world, whether we know it or not, and we think that people need to know about the research that goes on.
The website shows we have lots of different research projects, but there's also a background conversation about how this approach to the study of religion is different from, but related to other things.
The Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion was created by Wesley Wildman, Patrick McNamara, among others, to support and foster biological and scientific investigations of religious behavior and phenomena.
That's what the biocultural study of religion is about. It's an attempt to redefine the playing field and the way the sciences can operate together to study something complicated like religion.
Psychology of religion and the evolutionary facets of religion and brain basis of religious experience. The Institute is a place where we can pursue all of those lines of inquiry.
The Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion is a research organization that's developed with the aim of providing a space where interdisciplinary dialogue can occur. Its primary objective is to start building bridges and generating discourse between the traditionally so-called softer sciences and beyond, and into the humanities.
One of the ways that the IBCSR is able to facilitate that conversation is precisely in having affiliated faculty from a lot of different departments that can come to the same table and speak together.
It can be seen as spanning disciplines like history, sociology, anthropology, and psychology, because psychology is all about what people believe, people's behavior, why they believe it. So psychology needs to be part of the biocultural study of religion.
The work of IBCSR is going to be ongoing, perhaps for generations, in the scientific study of religion. But I'm interested also in the effects of that work on people outside the scientific study of religion. So I think philosophical theology needs to be able to relate positively to the ongoing findings of science. But I think that theology cannot let itself be unobservant of what sorts of things are happening in the study of religion through scientific methods.
Our job is not just to study science and religion. Our job is to be translators between the disciplines. And sometimes this involves teaching, sometimes it involves correcting, sometimes it involves just being out there and engaging people.
It's the holistic approach to understanding religion. Human beings are more than just biological machines, and they're more than just symbol manipulating, socially conditioned individuals. They're a combination of all those things.
I think the promise of the IBCSR and the type of research that we're committed to is ultimately developing a more integrated conception of the human person that includes the biological and the neurological, along with all the cultural elements.
You're working to kind of walk a thin line between rich interpretation and rigorous explanation.
The project is not about whether religion is true or not, whether God exists or not. It's much more about how does religion vary by cultures? What are the cultural aspects that give rise to people's belief? I really see the Institute about religious behaviors and beliefs, everything that's human.
Once you begin to recognize the complexity of the phenomena before you, you're less inclined to be so dogmatic about it. You're more inclined to invite diverse perspectives in, because you know your own perspective is so limited.
When you're dealing with humans, if all you have is the strict biology and the strict chemistry, you're not going to get everything you need. And studying religion is studying people.
We're a little speck of dust among 7 billion people on a planet. That is a speck of dust in the solar system. That solar system is a speck of dust. The universe and so on. The universe is probably just one of an almost infinite range of universes. When you consider our very, very, very tiny perspective in that vast range, and you got to be a little bit circumspect and humble about your perspective. So you need others. So we take that philosophical approach of we have one perspective, and to really grapple with the complexity before us, that is religion, we need to invite diverse perspectives in.
I think the importance of interdisciplinary work is in a way captured or at least suggested in the title, Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion. And for me, this is one of the really important things, one of the important commitments of the Institute, that sense of biocultural. And my own interests are in questions of human nature, in questions of theological anthropology, religious perspectives on what it is to be human, and how that relates to the different sciences. And I think one of the most important intellectual challenges today is to develop a rich model of what it is to be human that incorporates not only our biology, not only our brains, all these things that the sciences can tell us about, but also culture and those, language, art, rituals that are studied in religious studies, these extremely complicated things. How is it that our biology relates to these cultural developments?
This isn't about religion good, non-religion bad. It is much deeper than that. It's really about where does religion fit in the human evolution, cultural, intellectual evolution, who we are, and understanding the fuller picture of the human being.
I think the promise of the type of study that we're doing at the Institute for the Biocultural Study of Religion is huge. I think it promises to help bridge the divide between the two cultures in the academy today of the sciences versus the humanities by recognizing that both of these things fit together in human life. And ultimately, I think it promises to help develop a more integrated conception of the human person and what human religiosity really is.
Everyone who works in the Institute is fascinated by this great big ball of wax we think of as religion. And we don't think it's something that you can just hope will go away. We think it needs to be understood.
People don't understand religion. They just don't understand the role that it plays in people's lives, in communities, in society. in our evolutionary past. A lot of people think that it's just something we need to shuck off, and once we do that, we're going to be liberated. This is the classic Enlightenment narrative. Once we shuck off the religious baggage of our past, our eyes will be uncovered and we'll be able to think clearly and logically about problems like global warming and environmental degradation, fossil fuel overuse. That's not true. We're never going to be able to shuck off religion as long as we're Homo sapiens.
So religion's not going anywhere when understood properly, and so we really do need to understand it.
The IBCSR is it's in a golden age. It has many research projects, any one of which, if it gets halfway completed, will make a great contribution.